Blog Talk Radio.
You're quite hostile.
I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
Revolution is not revenge, it's progress.
I want the truth.
We have to dare to be different and dare to tell the truth.
We don't see the fire, but the house is burning.
Pick up a book and feed your mind.
Took over.
How will the people say? You are a deceived people. Nobody else can do this for us.
Take that white Jesus down.
Something is wrong.
Do the research like we do the research, and you'll be convinced also.
Turn off Fake Housewives of Atlanta.
Continue to raise the intellect and the consciousness of the human family.
Professor Griff knows.
Yo, I ain't no toast.
NMEMindz Radio, the Mind Blog Talk Radio Network, where matters to the mind matter. Youth, family, truth. Positive education, all correct. Error. Please educate while children speak. Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Media Holiday, Alafia, and Africa today on the move. Good evening and welcome to another edition of NMEMindz Radio here on Hot Thursday in the A. Recording. Broadcasting live from the deck. This is affectionately called the library. See the picture of this, you understand what it is. With that, it's NMEMindz Radio with the host Professor Griff ZaZa Ali.
To the God of God and the Black National War as afterlife family.
This show is a show where minds produce minds, that produce minds, that produce great minds, because minds matter. We are souls and such souls that are like minds, given to us by our good brothers, Dr. Reverend Sir Balance, and also this show and every show is dedicated to all those. This show and every show is dedicated to all those that are good.
And as Sister Andy Garden taught us, stand on like hell in your place in the world.
We're definitely standing on the verge of about revolution of mind. It's the mind matter. Our mind matters, your mind matters. Revolution is complete constructive cosmic change taught by Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Revolution is
be whatever you want to be in this world, back on the way to becoming gods and goddesses. That's the human experience called you. Talk to us about Professor James Hall.
like Muhammad taught us that God was and health is a state of mind, not a state of still mind with the building.
Once again, it's NMEMindz Radio. The mind matters. Blog Talk Radio Network where matters of the mind matter. Our aim and our mission
is to raise vibration to into the mind of the creator and ultimate God.
And also to raise the consciousness of all of the human family and replace racism, white supremacy, just so that we can live in peace on the planet that we affectionately call Earth.
The call number is 247-633-9644. Hit us up. We want to know what's on your mind.
So in the spirit of our ancestors, whose shoulders we stand on, we like to say, Ashe. Tonight we stand on the shoulders of one brother who showed us the way, who demonstrated the revolutionary spirit, who's probably one of the brothers that's the embodiment of what revolution is. This brother we speak on is none other than our good brother, Jay Quavera. Jay says one cannot be sure of having something to live for unless they are willing to die. Silence is an art carried out by other means. The revolution is not an apple that falls when it is ripe. You have to make it fall. And as we always say, revolution is not an event, it's a process. All right? Let's make it happen. For that brother, we like to say Ashe.
I say, just follow the proper message and
Ashe. To all those unknown folks that have fought, fed, and died for freedom, liberation of here in the wilderness of North America, we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. To contact us, hit me up, tweet me at Prof. Griff. My email address is professorgriff@gmail.com. You can go to my website, www.professorgriff.me. That's www.professorgriff.me. You can text me or call me at 678-557-2919.
You can hit me up on Facebook at ZaZa Ali. Our Facebook page is NMEMindz Radio. That's also our Twitter handle. My website to purchase Black Matters is www.blackmattersbook.com. And if you would like to make a donation to NMEMindz Radio, or if you'd like to contact us for anything outside of the scope of what we're talking about today, future events, upcoming shows, and whatnot, you can email us at mindzmatterbtrs@gmail.com. That's mindzmatterbtrs@gmail.com.
All right. I want to shout out Mr. Truth Seeker. Thank you very much for posting NMEMindz Radio on YouTube. I know we only talk once or twice, but we definitely want to thank you because the word is definitely getting out. I got a couple of text messages and a couple of phone calls from the work that you're doing. Somebody even thought you were me. But anyway, it's a beautiful job that you're doing. We want to shout you out, and thank you very much. Shout out to everyone that's donated a nickel, dime, or even a thought or your spirit to the GoFundMe. All right. Looking into Raleigh, North Carolina, and other places that we're headed towards Oakland, L.A., and a few other places. All right. All right. Shout out to Peace Son and my man, John Trey. Shout out to Brother Rich. All right, Brother Rich. I guess everybody need to kind of pull back and, as my man Joe put it, lean back and pull away from and unplug from the matrix for a minute. So we'll see you next week, hopefully on a very, very, not hopefully, but on a very timely subject that you choose for us to deal with it. So we didn't do the interview with Brother Rich last night, so definitely we're going to get to it next week for those of y'all that are waiting. Some people that hit me up, just I guess you got to wait till next week. All right, those are my shout-outs.
Shout out to all of the young people who listen to our show. Definitely have a large youth following. I hate to use the word follower or following, but it's appropriate. So shout out to all of the young people, especially tuning in for this particular show. I've had several people who hit me up and wanted to make sure when we were doing this show, because they want to get the young teenagers and preteens who may be struggling with this conversation or dealing with this area, especially young girls. The over-sexualization of black women and young black girls is at an all-time high. So a lot of young sisters are to find themselves and to find their way without walking out the house half naked. So for the young people who are listening and who always listen, we love and appreciate you. And we're going to try to put in the work, put in the right message tonight to feed that part of you that may be yearning for something or trying to find yourself.
All right. Tonight's subject, we're going to be talking about living in a society ruled by sex. All right. Living in a society ruled by sex. Those of y'all that's lining up in the call queue, please don't get the subject twisted. We're not talking about having sex in a society and you're being ruled by it. We're talking about living in a society. Focus and underline the word society. Good underline the word ruled. And you definitely can ignore the fact that the word sex is in the subject. All right, so we're talking about living. Some people might say dying in the sex, or existing in a society ruled by sex. Shout out to the Foxies, Erica, and my man Sifu. We got the right date and day on the flyer. Shout out to the Foxies. All right. So join us tonight here Thursday, July 30th. All right, as we unfold the reality of living in a society ruled by sex, a sex-crazed society. I had a conversation earlier about Las Vegas and Miami, which same place. If you visit them and you kind of interact with the people and the vibe in both of these places, same thing. Why do so many black men grapple with being able to control themselves sexually, and why has being promiscuous become the way of life for a lot of our women? What role does entertainment play in all of this, and how do we get control? Look at the negative impact that the inability to control ourselves sexually is having on our lives, our family, and our communities. The call-in number is 347-633-9644. Within the sound of my voice, you're officially tuned in to NMEMindz Radio. If you know someone that's just probably out shooting breeze at the mall, doing whatever they do, text them and hit them up and let them know that they can call in at 347-633-9644 if they want to add their little 2 cents, or they want to up the ante. They can even throw in their nickels and their dimes worth of the conversation tonight. All right, so the conversation is officially on. We're talking about living in a society ruled by. Anything to add to that, Miss Empress, Goddess, Your Royal Highness, what other, Imperial, Her Majesty, Boss, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I was looking for an exact quote from this book, Why Black Men Love White Women, and you finished your point too fast because I was.
No, I can expound because
yeah, please do.
The impetus for this particular, no pun intended to the brothers, the impetus for this particular conversation.
Impetus?
Yeah, some brothers may be taking the blue pill, Cialis or.
Yeah, and that's
the other one?
The email.
Viagra.
Did you read the email, the brothers?
No, I have it in my hand.
Okay,
I didn't even get to that part yet.
Let me send him an email.
You want to read it?
No, we're doing his conversation. No, you can go ahead. I'm gonna send him an email.
This brother says, please do not mention my name. Of course I will, but or email. But I think no, we're not going to mention your name. I think you all should do a show on why are men between the ages of 30 and 40 are taking Viagra and Cialis, and explain the side effects and the long-term effect on taking it. I have tried it before. Let me get myself together. I've tried it before, and that ish puts your body through some crazy ish. Bones ache, headaches, hard to breathe, sometimes hard to swallow, water, juice, etc. I become detached from my private part. No, that was me. I was a person that have.
Okay. Are you on the second paragraph?
Yeah, just
okay.
about.
So let me qualify that. I sent him a response and said, yeah, that's a great idea. And I said, if you don't mind me asking, what led to you, being, I think I said promiscuous in your life or something to that effect?
Right.
Okay, and then that was his response.
So basically at 38 years old, he was taking Cialis and Viagra just with himself?
Well,
because he was hitting too many people.
Here was my response. I said, Peace King, excellent suggestion. We are going to be doing a show on promiscuity and over-sexualization. Maybe we can discuss your topic. I said, if you don't mind me asking, what was pushing you to be so sexually active and seek out having sex with so many women during that time in your life? And then that's when he responded with that.
Oh, so that's this response. He says, well, my buddies used to have a contest to see who can get the most girls and bag them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And back in 2003, I was going through a divorce, and I was depressed at the time, and I thought having relations with a lot of women would take my mind off my ex at that time. But now I think I'm paying for it with my current relationship. Well, to that brother and to everyone that's listening, I don't think that brother factored in the whole idea of a karmic debt. I need you to write that down. If you already know what that means, help me out. You do not have to criticize me or what I'm saying. You don't have to take shots. You don't have to belittle me. All right? If you're listening and you already know what karmic is, then let's add on. Let's build on to what I'm about to say. All right? If you don't know, right now, I need you to go to a search engine, whichever one it is, it doesn't matter. I guess one of the most popular ones are Google. Put in karmic debt, and let's all get on the same page on what a karmic debt is. So, Zaza, what is karmic debt?
Karmic debt is owing a debt from something that you've done at one point in your life, or perhaps even something that your parents or someone along your bloodline may have done. A debt that has to be owed, that has to be paid, excuse me.
Right. In this case, what the brother was talking about in his message to us, we're talking about a personal karmic debt. So the definition that you gave us is absolutely correct. We're going to narrow it down. Do we have karmic debts that we have to pay? That's the question.
Sure.
Do you have individual karmic debt?
Does that apply to everyone as individuals and collectively? Yes, I believe so. I'm
separating it.
Do
you
individually,
personally?
Do I personally? I would say yes.
Okay. Do we have a collective karmic debt?
Yes.
Can individuals suffer for the karmic debt that the collective owes?
Absolutely.
Okay. With that said, then the individual have to be responsible for their own karmic debt to be able to understand coming together with the collective to pay the collective karmic debt. Karma, what goes around, comes around. For the religious people out there, it's not something that you have to believe in. Someone sent me something very foolish the other day to my phone. It says, well, I don't believe in Facebook. I'm going to take a deep breath on that one. Zuckerberg or any of these other people that run Facebook is not sitting around in their billion-dollar offices waiting around for you to believe in it. It's going to function and move on without you. It's not something that you have to believe in. Karma is one of those divine laws in the universe, and it's not waiting on something. It's not waiting around for you to believe in it. That debt that you have to pay as an individual, you may have wronged someone, like this brother openly admitted it, that he was going through something, he was going through a divorce, he was depressed, and him and his homies thought they can get together and bag as many women as they can bag. All right? He says he feels he's paying for that now in his current relationship. Even if you don't mention it to the woman that you're presently involved with, you will have to pay that karmic debt. That karma will come back around. All right? Now, some people may be saying, well, how do you pay the karmic debt? We'll talk about that a little bit later on in this show. And it has a lot to do with what you put out there. I don't know. It may come back in the form of your children suffering for it. It may come around in such a way where you physically got to pay for it. Yes, so you may not be able to function with the current relationship that you're in sexually or something. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as we dive into the subject, living in a society ruled by sex. What kind of society is this that we're presently living in? And does the devil have a hold of this particular society that we in the society are ruled by sex? The government ruled by sex? Is the pastor ruled by sex? The preachers, the reverends? Is the church ruled by sex? Corporate America's politics ruled by sex? All of us are just sex crazy. Do we have to have it? Can we do without it? It is a mutual thing that we share. Is love sex? All right. Has the society got it twisted? Does love equal sex? What is it? What is it in the society that makes us want to give in to the temptation of sex? Is sex natural? Some of these questions we have to answer tonight in this particular subject. Would you like to add on to that?
Yes, I would. I wanted to read this passage, and then this will kind of go into what I wanted to pose, particularly to the brothers. There's a chapter in this book called Soiled, and the book is entitled, let me make sure I'm here. Okay, Why Black Men Love White Women by Rajan Perswad. And chapter 1 is called Soiled. And I'm going to read a passage here. It says, the history and circumstance that has soiled the black woman's image has continued to direct the black man's mind away from that desperate sight towards that which he has longed to be recognized by. His goal is to be loved and accepted by those who he was designed to worship in order for his dignity to triumph. He sees himself as a historical figure, failing to provide for his family, protect his woman, and secure a livelihood. Additionally, he finds it difficult to connect with the black woman outside of sensation because she serves as a symbol of his systematic failure. By giving birth to him in bondage, she represented the synthesis for his circumstance. The precious gift of life, which was once cherished, has now become a curse. Her womb was a graveyard as life became death. As a result, he will chase the white woman to the ends of the earth and will stop only when he catches his mind. I read that because there's one part of this, I think the whole thing is like seriously deep, but the one part that I underlined, he finds it difficult to connect with the black woman outside of sensation because she serves as a symbol of his systematic failure. In striving to write a book that qualifies itself to at least try to deal with some of the issues that we have as a people, and just for what we do, being so engrossed in pop culture and what's taking place right now, I find it really peculiar how black women are only really revered or paid attention to for their bodies. And I say that because, you have the strip culture, you have the twerking, you have all of these different things, and some of that is of course, magnified by the internet and by, media and by television and whatnot. But there is a culture within our own people, and I'm posing this to the brothers. There is a culture within our own people where, from my nephews to my cousins to the brothers I grew up with in the hood, to my uncles, to, just all the men that I have been surrounded by, not all the men, excuse me, let me change that, but many of the men, there seems to be a fascination with the black woman's body. And I think men, naturally are attracted to women's bodies, so there's nothing wrong with that. But outside of what the black woman offers sexually, I don't really see the reverence for anything else as far as black women are concerned. And I think that lends to the strip club culture and, the blacktail magazines. And that's, of course, not taking anything away from the sisters who engage in that behavior. I mean, of course, they have the questions to answer themselves. But I pose this to brothers, and I'll ask you first. Just as far as black men being attracted to black women physically, is it that difficult for brothers? And maybe this is a thing of maturity as far as being young versus growing older. To see a woman value a woman for more than just her body.
To answer that question, very direct. First attraction is always, not always. First attraction is more than likely physical.
Right.
Once you get to the point where you enter in to the particular conversation, men, and I'm speaking for you, brothers, and hit me up if If I'm incorrect, my phone number is 678-557-2919. Just text me. Men, once we engage in that conversation, more than likely, when we engage in the conversation, more than likely women set the tone on how we're going to deal with that particular woman. If it stay low vibration, even as we as conscious men try to raise the vibrational pitch of it, if the woman keeps it on that plane, more than likely that's where we're going to operate for a minute. If she raises the vibration, men that feel they're inadequate enough to not compete, but to deal with women on that level will back up, retreat, keep it moving. You understand what I'm saying? Will not engage. This is why I suggested over the last, 10 years, that when we meet, we operate from the crown chakra. We meet at the crown chakra and work down instead of the root chakra up. So with that said, also walking 4 seasons with one another. If two people can meet or do meet and get together and the sexual thing do happen, are you mature enough to be able to handle that, to move throughout the chakras and be able to at least commit to one another to see yourselves through so you can at least experience what she has to offer as far as her substance is concerned. Most women, get it twisted. They're dealing with grown males, not grown men.
Well, and, to qualify what you said, you have to have something to offer for someone to even value you beyond your sexuality.
Right.
And unfortunately, the thing not the most unfortunate thing, but the unfortunate thing is that a lot of sisters, outside of the way that they look, don't really cultivate anything else outside of themselves. And, we get this conversation all the time from brothers. It's that they are trying to help their wives or their girlfriends or their women to cultivate themselves outside of what they watch on TV and what music they listen to and the substantive, entertainment weekly conversation that seems to, is the focal point of most of our people. We don't have a level of conversation and substantive dialogue beyond the things of this world. Most of us, our conversations are being dictated by either VH1, BET, or CNN and MSNBC. MTV, yeah. Right. So, to this brother's question,
let me just say one thing today. It has been my experience, and this is not for all of the brothers. And if I'm saying this, and someone's within the sound of my voice, don't take any of this personal. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people that's not on the air. I've met women that I thought were beautiful. Met them. We exchanged numbers. We talk. Lo and behold, about the 4th, 5th conversation, if you're not shifting in the second gear so that can kind of pull the substance that I'm thinking is there and it's not there, then when I turn the sex down, or I put the brakes, or push back, or like, no, I'm good, let's talk, blah, 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 whatever, it's almost like they start to feel like undesired, or not desirable. And it's not that, it's just that I'm trying to connect with something else, to see if something else is there that I'm trying to tug and pull on. And it's been my experience, I've been let down a whole bunch of times to the point where it only lasts a couple of weeks, a month, 3 months. I'm just on my conversation.
Right.
And Lord, God forbid, if a holiday roll around and I start getting, Happy Easter. And I'm like, whoa. This is Griff you met. This is not, you understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, and it's been kind of disappointing. But I still keep those women in mind. I might send a positive affirmation. I might send those things to them to get them to tap into that thing within inside themselves. Even when I say affirmation, even a compliment, even a month later, to let them know that it's not you on that level. You understand what I'm saying? It's probably these other things. And I'm just probably not the dude for you because I'm definitely looking for something. I'm looking for something else.
Right.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that.
So the brother in his email, in the second email, he said, me and my buddies used to have a contest to see who can get the most girls and bag them.
Guilty, not on that tip, but we used to have a contest where we was in the club and we used to point women out like, yo, because we used to have contests of who could just get the number, not all the other stuff, because the bagging thing, you start to develop a predatory way about you and you start doing stuff like that.
Well, remember, Brother Rich asked me that in one of the interviews. He said men are, he equated it to the lion being the hunter.
The natural hunters.
Men are natural hunters, and is it natural for men to basically seek out prey? And that's not what he said verbatim.
I know what you mean, right.
Yeah.
Okay, but even in the club, when my homeboy used to say, yo, the sister in the green dress, whatever, just the idea, and this was when you're young, you know, you're sharpening your game,
right.
And those brothers out there that's struggling with that, yeah, just whatever. Because I know a few people like that right now as grown men. They just have no game. They got no swag. They just lame in that area. And that's not an insult. I don't know where you can go to develop that, but I'm just saying it was easy for my homeboy to pick out a sister and say, just see if you can get her number.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And by the time we get in the car, I'm pulling out 2 or 3 numbers. Here you go. Now, whether I called and pursued it, that's a whole different story. Now, mind you, I wasn't popular. I wasn't Professor Griff. I wasn't, you understand what I'm saying? And I was just purely going on the fact that, you know, I had a fly haircut and marshmallows on or something more.
Marshmallows?
Belt, you wouldn't know what that is.
No. Those are
With
shoes?
the Lee Jean patch on the pants leg.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, fat laces. You don't know nothing about that.
I do know about fat laces.
Johnny, come lately to this.
Yeah. So, you know, the whole idea of being able to bag women, and I like I said, I grew up in the city of Max. So
can we clarify and qualify? Not qualify, but we get people to understand that term. Though.
Bag
what
women.
What do you mean by that?
But to me it means sleep with them. Bag women, sleep with them.
I'm trying to figure out how to put it on the air because I know young people are listening. I'm not going to be vulgar. At the end of the night, when you know, flush the toilet, blah, 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 back in the bed to have the conversation, or even if you get in, you know, everything, the culmination of everything is in the bag. The raincoat, whatever you call it, you successfully bagged her. Follow what I mean? No. After the act, you go to the bathroom, it's in the bag, you disposing of it, you flushing it down the toilet, you putting it in the garbage, or however you got to dispose of it. At that point, you bagged her.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh,
Glad you got it.
Okay.
You bagged her.
So,
not just getting a number and.
No.
Okay,
I
cool.
get it. Like, yeah, mission accomplished.
Yes. Done deal. It's a wrap.
I said when I was speaking, and you know, there's been some recent events and some conversations, and more so than anything, it was the response of the people that really kind of threw me for a loop. But I was saying, you know, as a response to this in some of my lectures, like, do we understand that the whole jump-off culture is lending to the statistics of abortion?
Right.
Do we understand that the jump-off culture leads to single-parent households?
But you're absolutely correct. But what I've been hearing from women is that we're just doing what men always have done. Wow.
Well,
no. Sorry. No. Men don't get down like that. Now, grown males, boys that you thought was a man, just because he had a few muscles in his own car and, you know, apartment that he's sharing with his homie, or he's sleeping in the basement of his mama house, you thought he was a man, but no. I think what needs to happen is a working definition of what a man really is need to be given to men, and then, to women, and then we hold every man to that standard.
Well, and one of my notes here, there's a brother who most of us have heard of, most of us have probably studied or read, or I'm not going to say his name, but I saw him write on Facebook one time that men are not supposed to be in a monogamous relationship with one woman, that is not natural for a man to be with one woman.
I've read that.
So, and you know, this was what kind of had me upset as of late because I'm looking at the brothers and I'm like, do y'all understand that people expect black men to be brutes, to be incapable of being faithful to a woman, to be womanizers? Like, does that not upset brothers when they or at least make them feel like, no, that's not me. I have a responsibility to change that stigma? Or
I think when we get older, we feel that when we get older. Coming up, it's like, no, we bagging as many as we can bag because to us, we get patted on the back for that. Yeah. We get points for that. It's like, yo, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm one of the ones that was a virgin until I was like 18 and a half, damn near 19. Mm-hmm. So not to be, I'm just speaking personally.
Right.
Not to be one of those kind of individuals that's never had sex in my teens until I got in my later teens, 18 and a half, 19. And then it wasn't just some random chick, it was somebody that I was dating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was outside of that kind of conversation. So then when I did understand it, and I heard brothers saying that, I'm like, in what culture? In what culture can you maintain 3 and 4 women? So then when I started seeing the brothers that did try to maintain 3 and 4 women, they were taking care of him as opposed to him taking care of them.
Yeah.
The only ones I saw at that particular time taking care and maintaining 2, 3, 4 women was the drug dealer because he had the means to do it.
Yeah.
He had the means to do it. He didn't necessarily have the smarts to do it. He had the street smarts to do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But how long do those relationships last?
Right.
And are they healthy?
So is it in your opinion, and brothers and sisters in the chat room, as well as those who are going to call in and get in on this conversation, is it unnatural for a man to be faithful to a woman?
Is it unnatural?
Meaning, is it natural for men to be able to have
natural? No, because even when you look at those in Africa that they did adopt that practice, we have to go into those cultures and study those particular cultures. Wait,
okay, when you say natural, are you saying natural for? I want to clarify that we're on the same page.
No, I'm not saying natural. Like, I'm not saying natural. Mm-hmm. When we go into those cultures that do practice that, we have to go into those cultures and see all the other dynamics. Mm-hmm. We can't just say...
You're talking about polygamy.
Right. We can't just say the so-and-so tribe, back in the 1800s practice polygamy, in Kenya, and this tribe did that, and then use that as the basis for what you're doing in 2015 in America to adopt that particular philosophy here. No.
Well, and all of the tribes didn't practice polygamy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there was other dynamics. I bet you when you do find those particular tribes that did that, there was some serious, strict rules, regulations, and laws that govern that. I'm sorry. You're
not going to get up, get tired of your family one day and get up on a plane and fly down to the Congo and start a new life.
Exactly.
In that type of situation, you are bound to those commitments that you make, not only to those wives, but also to the families of those wives.
Right. Now, how many brothers are willing to do that? Wait a minute. And what I've read in some cultures, every woman that you take on, every wife, have to have their own house. Let's stop right there. Right. Not apartment. Right. Not living with you and your homeboy. Right. Not a room at the Motel 6. Yeah. At the Sweet and Stay or the Extended Stay. And she's most likely
not working.
Right. So, yeah, bruh. Yeah. No. So there's other dynamics that go along with those particular practices.
Amor said, I thought the whole purpose of monogamy/polygamy was for kings to establish relationships with other countries. No. Polygamy.
And then when you make statements like that, qualify it by giving us time, period.
Yeah.
What people, when, where. Yeah. We have to know that, bro.
Yeah. Because initially the purpose was for polygamy was what's the word I'm looking for? It was a remedy in times of war.
Right.
When men would go out off into battle and lose their lives, the other brothers would take their wives on and take financial responsibility for their wives and for their children. Well, so it was a remedy.
Right.
to certain ills in the in the civilization.
So that woman won't be out there for the pickings, so to speak. Now
he learned that in church.
Now you just threw me off. I can't.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. Now you know.
Yeah.
No, but no other people on the planet have been through, people in America have been through. Let me take a deep breath. So now, when you talk about black people in America, brothers and sisters, please study and know your history. We were taken from all over the continent. Different customs from different tribes were brought together.
Right.
Different languages. Please keep this in mind. We were stacked and packed in the holds of ships. So by the time we landed in America, if 100 brothers and sisters was on that ship, you're talking about you got 50 to 80 different cultures coming off the ship. Some practicing some of everything.
Right.
Not speaking the same language, do not have the same customs. All right? There's no such thing as the African language or one certain culture. All right? We have to be smarter than that.
Yeah.
All right? And this is the crux of our argument with one another when we have a conversation like this. Different tribes practice different customs.
And, then we had the native people who are already here who had their own customs. And I think that it's something to be learned by all of us, to study all of those different indigenous societies, to see how we got so far off, especially when it comes to the topic of sex. I remember I had got into a little verbal back and forth on Facebook with some sisters about abortion, and it was some black feminist type sisters. And they're not, they don't claim feminism, but they had some feminist. I was like, I don't know why it's so hard for us to understand that the purpose of sex is to have children.
Right.
Now, yes, we have condoms. Yes, we have birth control pills. We have IUDs. We have all of these different forms of birth control that I think the highest rate of success is maybe like 92%.
In reference to what?
In reference to the birth control pill. And there may be a pill now that has a higher rate of success, meaning you don't get pregnant.
But, yeah, you can still get pregnant, though.
Exactly, meaning that there's an 8% chance that you will get pregnant. So, we were talking, and it was like, so what are you saying? People shouldn't have sex unless they were ready to have children? And I was like, well, I mean, I know it's hard, but yeah, like, shouldn't that be a goal? Shouldn't we at least, if we're not practicing that, shouldn't we be trying to instill that into young people? Like, why is celibacy a curse word in the black community?
Okay, so let me understand this. So that, with that particular thinking, sex is something that should be casual and just kind of shared.
No, I think people want the right to have sex when they have it, however they want to have it, and they don't want people intervening in their sex lives, which they have a right to that. What I'm saying is that as we right now, correct me if I'm wrong, we should be in a corrective frame of mind, right? Trying to fix our problems,
right,
as a people.
Right.
Abortion is a serious issue for us. Sexually transmitted diseases is a serious issue for us.
Right.
If I had a dime for every time somebody brought up 70+ households being headed by single black women, I would be so rich.
Right.
I mean, that's like the written alibi in the community because black women are raising black children by themselves. If we're really going to have the discussion about the issues that we have, shouldn't we be at least discussing it?
I think that's one of the main things that we should discuss is being able to teach young people that, okay, listen, when you start having sex, that's a heavy duty and responsibility.
You said it's overrated, right?
Sex?
Yeah.
Definitely overrated.
Okay.
Definitely over.
Because when it's over, it's over.
No.
No, I'm saying when the act is over, it's over.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Not for me. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to put my business out there.
Are you talking about making love, or are you talking about having sex?
Well, is there a difference?
Yes, there's absolutely a difference. I would say that sex has been separated from love as we understand it as a culture.
Oh, I thought you meant me. But as a culture, yeah. Living in this society.
Yeah.
Yeah, but me personally, no, it's not over. And I was given that right. And understanding what sex is, because it's natural. It's given to us by the Creator to procreate. I understand that because I have children.
Right.
Right, and I understand it. So when I make love, have sex, the whole idea of making love, it's not over once I, fall asleep or after the pillow talk and all that kind of stuff. No, it's not over. Okay.
Let's check this clip out. There's a clip on YouTube, and I remember a lot of people were passing this around a year or two ago. This older white lady talking about women having sex with many men. It's a pretty interesting clip. I'm going to play this. We're going to play this, and then we'll come right back on the other end, and we'll finish this conversation. Have we played commercials?
No. Let me get a couple of the commercials out of the way, and then we'll be right back. This is Professor Griff ZaZa Ali on NMEMindz Radio. We will be right back.
Test of emergency alert system capabilities. This test message has been initiated by national
war is being waged against us on all levels. Be dressed, be ready with Warrior Wear t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and hoodies. Come check us out at our website, warriorwearrbg.com. Again, that's warriorwearrbg.com.
Does your business need a boost? Did you hire Pookie and them to do your logo? At Free Yourself Designs, we can help you and your business stand out with our graphic design services, backed by our 100% custom design guarantee. Call us today, 919-964-FYD1. That's 919-964-3931. Or email us at freeyourselfdesigns@outlook.com. Free yourself and free your mind with Free Yourself Designs.
At Eat, Drink, and Be Conscious, we have a world of products choosing organic ingredients first and 100% all-natural superior ingredients second. Eat, Drink, and Be Conscious created 100% all-natural personal skincare line, the home of our aluminum-free 100% all-natural deodorant with bentonite clay with or without probiotics for adults and children. Our silky smooth, 100% pure shea butter-based skin souffle is great for your skin, especially dry skin, all made with fragrances or pure essential oils. All of our products contain no useless carrier oils, no parabens, no animal derivatives, just no-nonsense skin food. It's good for you. We even have 100% all-natural fluoride-free toothpaste that remineralizes your teeth and helps prevent tooth decay. Visit edmbc.com. Order your superior products today. Health is wealth, and you're worth it. edmbc.com.
Craftswoman Consulting and Personal Services, offering wholesale shea butter, waist beads, pyramid, and Aunt candles. Call 214-659-1RBG or visit candlescreator.com. Order custom designs, choose color and fragrance. Call 214-659-1RBG or visit candlescreator.com. Candle making classes available and more. Call 214-659-1RBG or visit candlescreator.com.
Hey, yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, you know what I'm saying? And you are listening right now to NMEMindz Radio with Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. And the place to be. Yeah, this is the crazy drop for my boys radio show. We're going to keep all this, Griff. You got to play all this on the radio. All right? And if you don't, then I'm going to call all the bounty hunters. Hey, yo, anyway, it's Flavor Flav right here, you know what I'm saying? NMEMindz Radio. All right, Professor Griff. Yo, what's the next cut, man?
All right, let the record reflect that I was not trying to put Professor Griff's personal business in the street. Thank you very much.
I'm only going to say what I want people to know any old way.
Okay. We are going to play a clip. You want to read a clip quote real quick?
No. I'm preparing mine.
Okay, cool.
I do have some things to read from the sex imperative, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's check this clip out, and we'll be right back on the other end. You're tuned into NMEMindz Radio, with Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. We'll be right back.
Vicki, we live in this hookup culture where much of our society, they think that they can just go on one night stands and just have consequence-free relationships, sexual relationships.
Well, it's interesting because that's a lie that abounds, that, we've come through the media and other things to believe there's no consequence to sex. And as long as you're contracepting or whatever, it's all fine, but we don't really understand how it is our bodies work. We need to recognize, for instance, that we as women undergo profound changes when we have sex with a male, that there are many things that change. It takes our body 6 months to make the adaptation to the sperm of our male partner, because before that we are in an autoimmune reaction. Our immune cells are testing. What is this? Is this an infection? What is it? Our body comes to conclude that this is our sexual partner and now has made an adaptation. The reality is that this allows us women to be without consequence in terms of when we conceive children with this male, our body recognizes that this is with our partner. We carry cells from every child we ever conceive, so we carry the DNA of our partners the rest of our lives. It's an interesting question. If I've had multiple partners and perhaps conceptions with multiple partners, that what might that mean to my body in terms of the immune system? Because I will now literally be carrying the genetic material of my partners contained in my children. We don't know what the long-term consequences of that are. The sperm has many antigens on it, and again, we think this is kind of neutral. We women have bodies that are acidic in chemistry, and males are alkaline. But what's interesting is that the last thing that happens with sperm production is there's a coating of vitamin C that's put on the sperm that allows it to survive in our woman bodies. So we make this adaptation to our partner. Sperm has these antigens, and interestingly, in men, if there should be a vasectomy or damage, what we've discovered is that in the male body, sperm and blood don't ever meet each other if it's healthy. When there's damage, for the first time, the sperm and the blood meet, and it sets off an autoimmune reaction in the male. It's designed to do that, but this can lead to health issues for the male. Vasectomies are promoted as, safe, not a problem. But in reality, there are a few very brave doctors who have written about the fact that the male who has had a vasectomy may now develop autoimmune disorders, arthritis, some other sorts of diseases. There's also the question, of course, of where does the sperm go, which can create some very uncomfortable things for the male. But there's more, again, also for the male. The reality is that seminal fluid, which we think of as kind of a carrier, it just kind of gets the sperm where it needs to go, is in fact biochemically very active. There are more than 30 different compounds that are contained in the seminal fluid. Different kinds of sugars, things like zinc, which would enhance our, as women, autoimmune system so that we might not contract diseases from pathogens that would be present in intercourse. All these different kinds of substances. There are also many, many hormones that are there. Luteinizing hormone, we think that's a woman hormone. Follicle-stimulating hormone, that's a woman hormone. 13 kinds of prostaglandins. Some other things like dopamine are there. Why? Because we women absorb that material, and we're changed forever. Every time we have intercourse with someone, if we absorb any of that seminal fluid, it's in our system for at least 15 hours. We're changed in a very real and concrete way by this sexual intimacy that's there. Furthermore, the brain chemistry in both men and women is triggered with sexual intimacy. And we believe that because I say this is just a sexual encounter for pleasure, I'm not going to be changed, that it works. Our brain never gets the message that this has no consequence. The assumption on the part of our body is that sexual intimacy always has consequences, always has meaning. And as soon as we have this intimacy with this person, we trigger brain chemistry. We trigger, for instance, oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone both in men and women. There are other feedback systems there that make the brain feel good. Men, in particular, get vasopressin. This is a male hormone. We women have a little, but it's predominantly male. And when we have sexual intimacy with someone, what happens to the male is this hormone now makes him have a preference for this female that he just had sex with. Hooking up, the sense that it doesn't matter, is physiologically an impossibility. We know that in men, it takes 72 days to produce sperm, and that at each point there's a change in the sperm. It's changed in some way. But what we don't realize is that the sperm has to be changed in the woman's body to have the capacity to enter the egg. There's a phenomenon when the sperm enters that's called capacitation and adaptation. For 5 hours or so, it sits in our woman bodies, and our woman chemistry changes the sperm. So now the sperm has the capacity to enter the egg, to go through this acrosome reaction. Before that, it can't do it. It swims differently after this. It swims with, if you will, more intent. Prior to that, the tail is kind of lazy, and it moves it where it needs to go, but not with determination. After being changed by the female body, the tail is this whiplash kind of thing. It's very direct. It's very effective in moving the sperm forward to meet the ovum. This is incredible when you think about it. There is an author in Britain who has written about the fact that supposedly there are 3 types of male sperm. The first is called the egg getter, the second is called the blocker, and the third is called the killer. I think maybe he was a rugby fan or something, because they're not really highly technical terms, but if you look at pictures of sperm, you can see 2 of these for certain. You can see that the egg getters are what we expect. They're very sleek, a pointed head and a tail, but the blockers are misshapen. They're kind of boxy, or they don't look like this very sleek sperm. The intent of the blockers is that they will fill in the crypts in the cervix. There are little compartments there, so that the egg getters can move through without getting stuck. Of the millions of sperm that come into our bodies, there's maybe only 20 or 40 that really get to the point of the egg. So there's this protective factor there. We want to get the egg getters where they need to go. The role of the killers has to do only when women have had multiple partners in a short period of time. These are very poisonous little sperm, and their intent is to kill the sperm of the other male. So effectively there is a sperm war that goes on in a woman's body when there have been multiple partners. Also think about this in terms of the adaptation of her autoimmune system. Who's my partner? Her immune system must be on a real state of arousal here, because there's sperm from several males, and her body is trying to make this time adaptation. And what happens, this is purely a question that I don't know the answer to, but what happens when I've had many partners and my body hasn't made this 6-month adaptation to the recognition that this is my partner? Now, you can get pregnant before this. You can get pregnant the first time you have sex. In fact, there's always a question sometimes from young people. They've been told you can't get pregnant the first time you have sex. But the reality is that we women are interested in sex. We're more arousable at the time of ovulation. Males around us perceive that we're ovulating by scent. They have an elevated testosterone level. They're more interested in sex. And sex happens, and pregnancy happens. And people are surprised by, how did that come to be? But the awareness that we're different. To know also that we women are very conditionable at the time of ovulation. This is some media effects research, and they had shown an erotic movie to women who were ovulating, and all of the women had an erotic response to this movie. They showed the same movie to women at other phases. We have different stages of our cycle. We have the follicular stage, when the little follicles on our ovaries are developing. We have the ovulation stage, when one of the follicles breaks loose and the ovum is released in our body. And then the last stage is the luteal phase, when the little place on the ovary where the ovum was released becomes a major chemical factory, keeping the ovum.
Okay. Something that she stood out to me that makes a lot of sense, that I don't think most of us, or I don't know how many of us even conceive this thought, but there are millions of sperm that go into the woman's body. Mm-hmm. And there's only somewhere between 20 and 40 of them that actually make it to the egg, right? Now, 20, 40, we don't know what the number is that actually make it, but men leave a very large amount of their genetic material in the woman's body.
Right.
whether she gets pregnant or not.
Right.
And then if you have the sperm from several men in your body, you are taking on, and this is part of what she was saying, and I'm going beyond what she was saying. All of that, whether it's negative, positive, crazy, whatever that energy is from that man, whatever state of mind he's in and spirit he's in, is laying within your body and becoming a part of who you are.
Okay, just the wrong term, not laying, but active in the body.
Okay.
Becoming part of. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the point I want to make.
Oh, okay. Something that she says that stood out to me was, I had to get past the fact that she was monotone, lame. But I extracted what I guess I needed to extract. She just, what I thought, what I told, I whispered to you was basically like, look, we operate different than white people. Layla Africa says on the back of Baruti's book, The Sex Imperative, Caucasians have colonized the concept of sex and sexuality. They have attempted to universalize and globalize sex via movies and psychology. Nature will not allow and cannot allow sex to be universalized or global. No two people, no two species, no two things have sex the same. Okay. With that said, sex is unique to a people's culture. So if we're talking about living in a society ruled by sex, then there's someone that's ruling this particular society that have actually giving us play-by-play instructions on how to have sex, when to have sex, where to have sex, and so on and so on.
Right, how much to
Via,
have sex.
Right, how much sex to have and whatever, the who, what, when, why, where, and how. Okay, but what medium? Since technology is advanced now, we can honestly say the cell phone. We can honestly say pornography revolutionized, the DVD.
You can watch porn on your cell phone now.
Right. The DVD, the videotape, that whole medium have revolutionized and propelled the pornography industry.
Right.
The internet has blasted it off the charts. You understand what I'm saying? So pornography now is, if it is on everyone's mind, it's at the fingertips now. You can pull it up.
Well, and you talked about, you mentioned Vegas and Miami, and I wrote that down. You talked about when you were in the club in Miami recently, right?
The other day, yeah.
The way that the women in the club, like to me, as you described it, and I've never been to Miami, but I've been to Vegas many times, LA, the way that you describe the club is like I see a lot of clubs, women practically naked in the clubs. The whole underlying theme in all of these places is sex. It really is, the music that they play. Right. And then, of course, we know from Stephen Jacobson when he talks about like techno music.
Right.
There's a lot of words and verbiage in that techno music where all you hear is the beat. All the people are dancing to is the beat. But there's words underneath the beat that are training and hypnotizing your subconscious mind.
Exactly.
So you are listening to music where there are very sexual undertones and overtones that are playing on your sensations, and it's impacting you in ways you don't even realize.
Of course, especially if you threw a couple back.
Yeah.
Then there's bubbles and confetti and smoke and lights on and off and different color lights affecting the different energy centers. And it's ridiculous. So much is going on at one particular time. It's hard to gain control of the self. When I say the self, and we're talking about the sexual self,
right?
It's hard to gain control over the sexual self. It's Caucasians are colonizing sex and attempting to program their sexuality into Africans. Can we just speak frank? Not vulgar, but frank. Of course, parents, this is an adult conversation. We're going to keep it that way. So just however you want to filter this and pass it on to the little ones. Certain sexual positions were not readily.
I'm sorry, my chat room said her ex-husband smelled like sausage.
Okay.
Sorry.
Certain sexual positions are not normal for black people. Let me see if I can put this. The whole idea Anyway, let me not do that.
Well, no,
can't.
since we're
No.
talking about Layla Africa, remember, and I mentioned this on the show before, Layla Africa blasted our people for the fascination with the butt. Remember?
Yeah, because he said that's where we defecate.
That's where you defecate. Why are you so fixated or fascinated on a part of the body that...
Well, that was my point just now.
Yeah, I know.
Because the sexual position that we are accustomed to, when we talk about the Tantra, we talk about sexual positions. There's sexual positions that we were taught that if we practice them, they're designed to give the ultimate arousal. You understand what I'm saying? So those sexual positions that are not, it almost seems like you're beating up on the woman. Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. No, I'm going to leave that alone. Seriously, hold on. The Caucasians have tried to change the lion's nature to that of a monkey. And this makes the African mentally ill and a sexual Uncle Tom. Damn. The purpose of African sex is to serve Ma'at, truth, justice, harmony, balance, etc. Brothers, just a message from the older brother to the younger men that are listening. The woman has to get satisfied also. When you're young and you're just trying to get yours, I think we were just not concerned with what was going on in reference to pleasing her. When you get older, you start to kind of like, okay, I'm in a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you out there and you the 2 to 3 minute brother, you have to be kind of concerned, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Else it gets, anyway. We'll talk about that later on in the men's meeting. The purpose of African sex is to serve Ma'at, truth, balance, justice, harmony, etc. Caucasian sex may seem perverted, freaky, abnormal to Africans. Book details its natural progression and the history of its confinement within the Caucasian culture. It shows that the confusion over the normalcy among Caucasians is ours and not theirs, and that Caucasians are united in their effort to turn the world into a sexually perverted playground. And they have. I've seen black people on and off the internet having sex in places, people doing things that's just very not cool.
Well, so let me ask you, is the the whole culture now of on the internet of these sisters taking these very breasts all in the camera and God, I can't even the pictures, the selfies, the all of the pictures showing their bodies in very sexual positions. Does that lend to that?
Of course that lends to that, simply because I guess they want to become desirable. And let me tell you something, young ladies that's listening. When you position yourself and put yourself in those kind of positions, the men will desire you, and that's it.
Yeah.
And after it's all said and done, and you catch feelings, you're probably not going to get the desired results that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because you presented yourself on that particular level, and when the man is satisfied, and it's like, okay.
No, it's interesting you said that, because I was just pulling some things up on the internet earlier, and I came across this interesting comment. Is it true that men separate love from sex, and how do they do it? And part of what it says here, it says there may be a primal reason for the apparent ease with which men disconnect emotionally from sex. When a man and a woman have sex, the woman is the one who leaves the union with most of the physical leftovers of the act. Pregnancy and all the psychological and emotional changes it brings, childbirth and the mysterious connection to said child, the resultant instinct to acquire a protector for herself and the child, and a physical change in genital organs. A virgin female loses her hymen. And then, so it's that aspect, and then also what we just talked about as far as men leaving their semen inside of a woman and it being active. Do you think that is a part of the reason why men are more able to disconnect emotionally from sex?
I say if we were left in our natural state, I think black men in America would be the ultimate lovers.
Mm-hmm.
If we were left in our natural state, we'd be the ultimate husbands.
Mm-hmm.
Can your husband be your lover? This society. When we talk about lovers, we don't think husband.
Well, I think the term husband, marriage is it's become a burden in the eyes of the society. When people talk about being married,
they talk about ball and chain.
Yeah, it's like you're in hell. You don't people.
Right.
You know, this society doesn't celebrate marriage unless it's gay marriage.
When I was married, I was making love to my lover.
Mm-hmm.
That's who the person I was making love with. That was my lover.
Mm-hmm.
When we say that, though, we think we separate the two.
Right.
So let me ask you something quick. I'm going to get back to your question because we have to talk about what I mean by if we were left in our natural state.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't go through the 400 years, if we didn't go through the Alpha,
mm-hmm.
we would be left in our natural state
mm-hmm.
and deal with the woman,
mm-hmm.
how the woman should be dealt with,
mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Well, now let me pose this to you, and
mm-hmm.
I may be going outside of the bounds of what you're saying, but I think that the problem started before the 400-year sojourn.
Yes.
Because we know that, and this is just one example, the Moors in Europe,
mm-hmm.
some of them brothers had thousands of concubines.
Right.
Women who were just there to please them sexually.
But who said they were in their natural state?
Well, you mentioned the 400 years, so
yes.
I wanted to go beyond that.
Okay, once we go beyond that,
mm-hmm.
outside of the context of what the Moors established and where the Moors came from. You see,
mm-hmm.
we talk about the Moors where they ended up.
Right.
We never talk about the Moors where they started out.
True that.
Okay. Would those things carry up into different places where the Moors traveled? Were those things put in place? No.
Well, so let's qualify that because there were the caliphs who were strict
mm-hmm.
to the Islamic law.
Right.
Didn't have those problems.
Right.
The brothers who went into Europe and started getting drunk off of their success, off of mm-hmm. their, power,
mm-hmm.
exactly. Those are the brothers, and the caliphs, or they would always send someone from Africa to re-regulate,
right.
and get them back in
right.
line. But they stopped wanting to be disciplined.
Right.
And that's when it started to go astray.
Right.
So yes.
Right. So in other words, with the messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the Creator, Allah, sends messages and prophets when things are wrong,
mm-hmm.
not when they're right.
Right.
So, okay, so if we're talking about the whole idea of being left in your natural state,
mm-hmm.
what were those things that was put in place to regulate us sexually
mm-hmm.
that we didn't abuse the sex? You see, the abuse and transgression of the law is abusing the sex.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And in America, and I think I could say this, and maybe y'all can help me out, anything goes with anyone.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
I kind of confine that to the person I'm dealing with.
Right.
But then again, I even pull back on that. I'm not crazy.
Right.
I'm not going to be in the parking lot somewhere like,
on TMZ.
Black butt in the air.
Right.
No.
With your red, black, and green.
Damn.
Yes, all right, check this out. Listen, because you talked about going back beyond when all of the problems started. Listen to this. Rejecting sexual desire is another important part of Buddhist philosophy on health building because rejecting sexual desire can preserve sperm. Chinese emperors in ancient times, we're talking about black people, indulged in sensual pleasures and lost their kidney semen. Therefore, they were short-lived. However, Emperor Wudi of the Ling dynasty, who believed in Buddhism, lived more than 80 years because he had less sex. This was very rare among Chinese emperors. Buddhists sat in meditation, worked, ate vegetarian food, and rejected sex, not to build their health, but to practice Buddhist doctrine. Therefore, only people outside the Buddhist school thought about whether Buddhist philosophy dealt with health building. So they weren't even doing it to be healthy.
Right.
They were doing it because it was a part of the
and I think that's
ideology.
Wise. I mean, I think that we as black men should put into place the whole idea in perfect affection, because a kiss, a touch, a series of touch, how you touch, where you touch, when you touch, should not always lead to sex.
Yeah.
I want to be touched, stroked, hugged. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to lead to sex.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a beautiful thing when two people can do that and bond.
Right.
And I think the whole idea of injaculation, I think women should know. Mm-hmm. Because that sperm is important for the man to keep the sperm in the body.
So give us the science behind ejaculation, please.
Well, I think brothers should know that, and I think we talked about this on the show before. Yeah. Every time you ejaculate, you get weaker. Every time you ejaculate, you lose. Let me see the terminology I want to use. I wouldn't say part of the self, part of that particular thing that make up us as being men to operate on a full capacity, so to speak.
Okay.
It's almost like having to constantly refuel. Mm-hmm. And if you're constantly refueling because you keep ejaculating, all right, you're wearing the pump away. Mm-hmm. And everything else that's associated with it, because the nervous system runs through the entire body. Right. The thought and the energy that it takes to ejaculate is a hell of a thing.
Right.
So if we practice the injaculation, we keep the sperm in the body, but we can't do that without the woman.
Well, and without you have to be striving to master yourself. There is a level of discipline that comes with that, right?
Exactly. Simply because we have to be stimulated by the woman's voice, her smell, her touch, and then the whole idea of her. Not in the bed with her, but you thinking about somebody else.
Right.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
So an ejaculation, it's not an outward orgasm.
You're not releasing the sperm, right?
Okay,
you're keeping it in the body.
Do you still feel the same physical pleasure?
Yeah, you still feel it. Probably more so.
Okay.
So
check this out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Were you finished?
Well, do women ejaculate, or do they have orgasms where fluid comes out of the body?
We have both.
Okay. Which one would you think would suit the man if we're trying to keep our prowess, so to speak? Because it literally makes you weak. For example, can I put it in layman's terms?
Yeah.
Sisters, you ever had sex with a man and shortly after he goes to sleep? Yeah. What do you think that causes that? That rush. You understand what I'm saying? That rush, we get it out of the body, we come down off of it. That shit makes you tired as hell.
Well, that's why if you do martial arts or if you play any kind of professional or collegiate sports, they tell you do not have sex before a big fight, before a big game. They tell you to sustain from sex.
And then deeper than that, in the martial arts, we're able to control the chi energy and we're able to move it. So controlling the sex thing for a martial artist is nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? But guess what? Martial artists and boxers and people that train still want to be kissed.
Right.
Still want to be hugged. We don't necessarily have to have sex.
Right. So check this out. When too much, this is from the ancient Taoist traditions, when too much sexual energy is lost, the brain and sensory organs become empty. Then people unconsciously seek other sources to fulfill their desires for stimulation. They desire more orgasmic pleasures because they are so used to passing qing qi, or orgasms, the physical orgasm, out of their bodies that their need for internal energy becomes desperate. In searching to fulfill their internal needs, they actually drain themselves more by relying upon old sexual habits. Unfortunately, drugs and alcohol also offer the same kinds of stimulation, like false orgasms, that further deplete the body of energy. These substances, therefore, become addictive as they can weaken the body and mind. The more energy that is lost, the more the body must replace to achieve high levels of stimulation. When people smoke, drink, or take drugs, their desires for stimulation possesses them more as their energies decrease. The Taoists suggest that this state is a little like death, a self-destruction through overstimulation of the senses, with vital energies pouring out. Destructive attitudes gradually increase as these people try to replace lost qing qing through means which further drain them. This is often the cause of violence, rape, and murder as the search for sexual energy becomes obsessive. Once the body is in this state, the subconscious mind carries the destruction further. Its tendency is to destroy itself and everything around it.
Well, women should want then. And with that said, a woman should want a man to be able to control it. The sexual act and the love-making thing last longer.
Well, yeah, not just that, but we should, like, as a society, because, you know, rape and you know, violence is off the chain in this society.
Off the chain.
But they're also simultaneously, this is how you know the quote-unquote rulers of this world or the elitists, they know this.
Right.
Because they are constantly stimulating you sexually. Everywhere you go, everything you do, you cannot get away from it.
Right.
They understand this science, and they understand that the more sexual energy that you emit, the more sex you have, the further it is going to drive you to try to re-stimulate those certain energies within yourself, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And when you run out of the pleasure, when it's not as pleasing to you, the sexual acts, then you move on to other things.
Right. Now, what happens to that brother that has 10 years? What does he do?
Yeah, he better get a Quran. Get a Quran or no, I'm being funny. I don't. You know, prisons are some of the most violent places on the planet.
Yeah, and
maybe that lends to that because they can no longer emit that energy that they're so used to putting forward.
So they take it out because now they get to the point now I don't care where I put it.
Yeah, and of course we know, you know, I mean the gang rape culture in prison. I don't know if that's probably a culmination of a lot of different things, but I'm pretty sure that has something to do with that.
Let's break for a commercial and we'll be right back. We're going to take your calls here on NMEMindz Radio with Professor Griff and ZaZa Ali. Living in a society ruled by sex. We'll be right back.
Go to alldemdvds.com now for your DVDs on history, psychology, sociology, science, religion, health, and more. Your PhD is waiting for you right here in our DVD collection. We've got thousands of titles. Get that mind in shape this summer with alldemdvds.com. Order online or connect in or around Philadelphia. alldemdvds.com. That's ALLDEMDVDS.com or call 267-257-3270.
Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Wear your pride on your chest with Foxy's unique limited edition apparel for men, women, and kids. Check them out at myfoxy.com. That's MYFOCSI.com. At Foxy, they even have a variety of art, pillows, and more at myfoxy.com. Use coupon code MMBTRS14 and get 10% off your order. Get Foxy.
Get your loved one out of jail. Express Bail Bonding Company is located at 236 Forsyth Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. We provide professional and courteous service with getting your loved ones out of jail fast. We are open 24 hours a day and provide service in the surrounding Georgia counties and the United States. Call us at 404-522-3201. Again, that's 404-522-3201. Once again, that's 404-522-3201.
Yo, this is Brother 7X Domingo, Soul Therapy. Wanted to give a big plug to NMEMindz Radio. Nothing but love, respect, and power. Get the knowledge, dropping it like it's hot every day, every week, every month, every hour, 24/7, 365 with Professor Griff ZaZa Ali. Peace.
Professor Griff and Ms. ZaZa Ali on NMEMindz Radio, and we're talking about living in a society ruled by sex. That was deep, what you just read.
Afflicted yard. Said in the chat room, every time you ejaculate, your body assumes that it is getting ready to create a new life. According to Tao, all of the organs and glands in your body give their best energy, what is called orgasmic energy. That's critical. And this is, the underlying thing that we're trying to underline here is that you're not just laying down and having, sex.
Right.
There's a lot of things that are taking place that, we are not conscious of.
Right.
We've been so dumbed down and have so little respect for the body and the science and the full science and mathematics that goes in, and spirituality that goes into every single thing we do.
Right.
So when you lay down and you talk about hit it and quit it, how you gonna hit it and quit it? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Right. That's the deculturalization.
Yeah.
We've been deculturalized. We've been taken out of our culture because some of this terminology that we're reading and some of the stuff that Baruti mentions in his book, The Sex Imperative, and some of the things that we see on TV and, aggressively how these men in these movies be throwing a white woman against the wall and ripping her clothes off. And that's damn near raping somebody.
Yeah.
But we have taken that culture on,
and
that
taking
idea.
Taken to another level.
Right. To the point where she could be thrown up and sick. Brother still want to have sex.
Yeah.
She could be passed out. Somebody could give her some pills and put some eye drops in her, some Bill Cosby stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Quaaludes.
Excuse me.
Quaaludes.
Anyway,
yeah.
So
check this out, because going in line with what you're saying, there's an article Dr. Boyce Watkins was talking about black denial as far as sexually transmitted diseases, and he pointed out some things that lend to not only the high numbers of sexually transmitted diseases, but our denial. One of the things on there, number 4, is the hip-hop player culture. He says that a little boy who grows up hearing Lil Wayne and other rappers measure their manhood by how many women they sleep with every year isn't going to be influenced by these messages. You don't know a single handsome man who brags about his way with the ladies, running from house to house and woman to woman every other night. You don't think that perhaps it's possible that the same way one man can impregnate several women, that the same man can't also infect several women too? Let's please do the math, people. A woman sleeping with lots of women who rarely gets a full STD screening has a very good chance of being a carrier of one of the major STDs. The same thing is true for women who like to get around. Also, any woman sleeping with him and touching his genitalia will either her mouth, anus, or vagina has a good chance at being infected. This is just a simple fact. Excuse me for not using standard Dr. Boyce language, but when my people are dying, I tend to believe that honesty is the best policy. So now this is he's referencing sexually transmitted diseases, and of course we can elevate the conversation not just on a physical level but the spiritual aspect of what we're talking about.
Right.
Women constantly giving themselves to different men.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a sister was my son's father's sister was having a conversation with me and her niece, and she was talking about referring to the woman as a flower, and talking about all of the different bees that come and pull pollen. Is it pollen? From the flower, right?
Yeah.
And she was talking about every time that flower, some of its substance leaves it, that it weakens the flower.
Okay.
And she was making that connection between the woman and the flower. And it always stuck with me. I think I was like 13 years old, and her niece was not paying attention at all because I know her. She was high. She was way in another world. But I was listening to what she was saying intently, and it's funny because she didn't like me. But if she had only known that I was young and I needed that kind of guidance,
right?
She probably, I don't know what it would did, but I was listening to her intently, and it always stuck with me. It's different for women having multiple and many partners versus men doing it. There's a difference in being penetrated versus penetrating. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why, this whole thing about like the misunderstanding of the rape culture. This whole thing with Bill Cosby, I've read some things that people have said about this, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. Do you understand what that means for a man to have sex with a woman who is physically not moving?
I don't mean to laugh, but yeah, I pointed that out.
Have we, I read an article by a sister, and I've been meaning to write a post about this, and I'm still going to write a post because it pissed me off. And I was telling you about it.
Right.
She basically was saying, well, white men have been raping black women forever. So what Bill Cosby did to a bunch of white women is nowhere in comparison. I'm like, what? That is so insulting to black men.
Yes.
That is so insulting to black men for us to lower the bar to the point where we're comparing the standard of black men by what these devils do. No, why would we even do that to ourselves?
Right, exactly.
So the whole idea of raping a woman, of going into a woman without permission and tearing her insides up, it is a very vicious and savage act.
Right, exactly.
So the spiritual aspect of that story that she talked about, it always stood with me because it's like, every time a man goes inside of you, he's going to take a piece of you that you can never get back. He's going to take a part of your essence that you can never get back.
So can we talk, before we open the phone lines, can we talk about the whole idea of having sex the way white people have sex? Is it violent?
Well, do tell. What are you referring to, sir?
I'm talking about just the sexual position. Not only position, the aggressiveness that comes along with it. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was supposed to be a pleasurable kind of
Well, you talked about this in your lectures before. The hit it, the beat it, the smack it up, flip it.
Rub it down, yeah.
Yeah. What's some of the other...
oh, shit, black men, the language that we use?
Yeah.
Brothers, we talking about crushing it, beating it up, hitting it. Some of the people that's listening to it now know some of the terminology. And I think in some cases that I've actually I've heard some brothers, some women having sex with them encourage that. And it's I don't know. We better open up the phone lines. The whole idea of the sexually transmitted disease being carried. No, don't take this the wrong way. Some sexually transmitted diseases, like we often talk about, that they don't have names for just yet, can lay dormant inside the human body.
Yeah.
Whether the man is carrying it or the woman is carrying it.
I think HPV is one of those, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is very deadly. But they're not teaching it on a level where we can kind of grasp its magnitude. And it's very, 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 very critical.
Well, there's a new throat cancer, and they're tying it to homosexuality. Men who are having anal sex with men and then turning around and having oral sex.
Right.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well, these women that be talking about, I like this guy, but he seemed kind of soft to me. I'm thinking, I'm going to ask him if he's gay, but you're sleeping with him every other night.
Yeah.
Well, you better put the pause button on the sex thing and ask him, because if he's penetrating another man and then he's turning around and you're having oral sex with him, that's ugly.
And let me just say this, and then we'll go to the chat room. I mean to the calls, because I know we have a lot of callers. Dr. Boyce talks about there was some statistics that put out that talked about the rates of black women who have herpes. And there was when the CDC put this information out, I think the website was Natural Moi. A lot of people were coming in the comment section and saying, "I don't believe this." They are they put out these statistics of black women who have these, or black people in general. What was I listening to earlier? They were talking about AIDS. I was listening to that brother David Bradley, and he was talking about how they always say black people have high statistics of HIV. And he was like, but I don't know anybody who has AIDS. I don't know anybody who's died of AIDS. And he was saying that this is part of propaganda and control in order to give people a certain perception about our people, as well as to give us a certain perception about ourselves.
Right.
That they are over-exaggerating the statistics on sexually transmitted diseases in the black community.
That could be true, but guess what? As soon as I heard that, I'm pulling back on my behavior.
Yeah.
I'm just being safe.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So we're going to open up the phone lines, and as always, respect the host. All right, no long dissertations. Don't start telling us about chicks you hit and Brothers, you done bagged and whatever. All right? So just lend to the conversation. Let's build. All right? All right, cool. Caller from the 248 area code. This is Professor Griff ZaZa Ali on NMEMindz Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from? 248. Talk to me.
Hey, Queen. How you doing?
Peace, Queen. How are you?
I'm well. My name is Taz. I just want to, first of all, let you know I appreciate all that you do today and every day. And that the rate that our men and women are having sex and not respecting each other is discouraging, even to myself. I haven't been proud of everything that I've done in my life, but I'm trying to be better. Mm-hmm. And I want each and every one of us that are listening to hold their head high and respect themselves, for the God that is in them, So, I don't want to hold y'all up because I listen to y'all and I don't want to get cut off.
Oh, thank you. We really appreciate that, and we love you. And it's I said this in my book. When we talk about abortion, this is not to beat anybody over the head who's had an abortion, men or women. It's not about that. It's about us correcting our issues as a people. There's a full-fledged war waged against us, right. And they're using our sexual, behavior against us, and we've turned against ourselves in that way. So, just as far as what you said, as far as I haven't always made the best decisions. None of us have. We've all been there. Trust me. All of us got that story. Some of us got a few more stories than others. But it's about us really stepping back. And Elijah Muhammad said, you can't qualify, and I'm totally paraphrasing, but you can't qualify the sins that we've, you throwing me off. I'm waiting for you to look at me and help me. What did Elijah Muhammad say about, because we're living in hell, our sins don't count? Something to that effect. That's not the word. But basically what he was saying is that we were born in hell. Right. So we were born in a society that embraces sin. Right. And I don't even use the word sin, but you get where I'm going with that. So, yeah, we're just trying to edify, the conversation and help our people to see a better way. Because this is what it takes to get to God and Goddess. Right. You can't be no God and still, be halfway nigga. That ain't going to work.
Right. God and nigga don't mesh.
No, they don't. At all.
You recognize the God essence in you. You cease to becoming a nigga. Unless you're the Naga, the black God. But anyway, we really appreciate your call, sister.
Yep, thanks, Queen.
May I say one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Y'all mentioned before it's a difference between making love and having sex. Mm-hmm. And that's something that a lot of our people don't realize. And I just want everybody, just to think about that. And when you're with somebody making that connection, you are indeed becoming one and, having a reaction to each other. And that's the root chakra, and it goes all the way up to the mindset. So bring all that together, make it happen for yourself and not just for what this world is trying to put at you. So thank you, love you, appreciate you.
Well, you too, sis. All right,
peace and love.
So is it possible I could have sex while I'm making love? I'm going through the act of having sex while I'm making love.
Well, what's the difference between having sex and making love?
Well, of course, we know and understand that society has differentiated the two. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you hitting the jump off, then I think that would be having sex. You don't love that individual. Mm-hmm. Something she wants to get out of it, something you want to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. So what I said earlier, sex has been separated from love. Would that be?
By this society.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think those of us that want healthy relationships need to have that conversation prior to falling in love. Because I know some brothers that be falling in love in 2 weeks, man. I mean, one time I was talking to this young lady over the internet, and some dude asked her for any quarter a year later. Mm-hmm. You said, that was you. Anyway.
You gotta stop playing.
That was you. Anyway. Don't have me tell these people.
No, but we the whole let me see. Remember the brother talked about Viagra and Cialis.
Mm-hmm.
The science aspect of that. What is leading to that? And he said, I was a person to have slept with a lot of women from my teenage years to now 38, and I don't know if it's my diet, but it's many nights I can't perform and I go to the pill. Please make this topic for the NMEMindz show. I know we have more callers.
The pill, psychologically, you're relying on the pill to get your pump running again.
Yeah.
It's almost like you need a jump start on your car.
Well, you don't think that it's affecting him physically too?
Oh, yes. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So subconsciously, he needs the pill in order to perform.
Right.
Taking the pill, it's almost like getting a jump start on your car.
Wow.
To get it up and going and moving forward.
Right.
Okay.
That's heavy.
So, yeah. Caller from the 347 area. So this is NMEMindz Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, this is James. I was just listening. I'm sorry.
Tight. We got you now. Don't apologize. You're good.
Peace, King.
We got you. Caller from the 843 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from? It's NMEMindz Radio. Don't worry about it. We don't mind. You just listen. It's cool. We got you. Caller from the... Now I lost my place, man. I got to go to Memphis. Caller from the 901 area code. Peace. What's good?
Griff ZaZa is Vincent. I'm here in Queens listening to y'all. Listen to y'all all the time. How y'all doing?
All right, maintaining. Peace. What's good, man?
I just tuned in to the conversation. I remembered I saw it on Facebook. ZaZa, I appreciate you sharing it. I think we were talking about the over-sexualization of our people. Is that what? Well,
Yes, sir.
I just want to come in the aspect of religion. If we look at our religion, because most of us are Christians, they over-sexualize it. Let Jesus into you. God came in.
Hold on, you lost me. Hold on.
Virgin Mary. Like Mary was not her own business. Go ahead.
You lost me with that. Please back up.
Well, think about it, though. Eating the blood, drinking the blood of Jesus and eating crackers.
What is all of that? What is all of that? Why we got to have somebody's blood in us?
Yeah.
But I think all the way, even from the Catholicism, how they treat their people or what they do. I mean, I just think religion is over-sexualized like as well.
So you think what about the story of Jesus' inception, the whole idea of the Virgin Mary?
You know that's a joke. Come on, like no idea that this little Virgin Mary walking to school and some Almighty God just come in. Look, that's her. She didn't ask for that. It's a story. It's an allegory. We get caught. A lot of people, Griff, you know, I ain't got like mine. That's a joke. That's a rape, and he left her for the next nigga to raise. Jesus got raised like stepdad. and we mad at stepdad. Stepdad's a hero then. We should love stepdad. Everybody should have one then, technically.
All right, ZaZa, you got to take that. All right, we hear you, brother. That's all right. I mean, no, I got you. I guess you can look at it that way. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, good, brother. I really appreciate your perspective. I mean, that's the way to look at it. I mean, you know. Okay.
Well,
I appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you, man. All right. My brother, all the way from Memphis. All right.
Whoa.
Call up from the 619 area code. NMEMindz Radio. What's your name? Where you calling?
Hello?
Yes, greetings, sister. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
All right, you're on the air live. Talk to me.
Okay, I just want to say that we kind of we don't use it for what it's for. I mean, because
we don't use it. What are you referring to?
Sexual reflexology, and you can actually use sex for healing purposes, like different positions. If you're having different problems in your body, you can use different positions to kind of, if you're having problems with your kidneys, different positions or help with whatever problem you're having going on. And I think that we just lost focus on what it's about I mean, because it's gotten barbaric, Europeanized, and, you know, I used to hear my cousins talk, and they used to say, oh, I'm going to beat it up and do this and do that. I'm like, well, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is somebody you care about. I mean, you know, supposed to love that person. You don't do it as a way to, like, be barbaric and hurt them. Well, if you be all sensual and stuff, she'll think you a punk. And I'm like, you know what? It's not even about that. You know, and I just think that we just kind of just do it to be doing it. Or
right.
And the men think, well, I'm going to get mine, you know.
Well, sister,
and
can I ask
that's
you
it.
something?
Yes.
Sister, can I ask you something? And do y'all talk about us when we don't perform too well?
Huh?
Do women talk about men when we don't perform too well?
Well, yeah, some women do. I've had friends, and they say, oh, well, he didn't perform up to par. But if it's somebody that you care about, I mean, I'm not the type of person. I'm just not out there just having sex just to have sex. I mean,
okay.
I have to,
but sister,
to be like a commitment thing.
Okay. All right, cool.
But,
all right.
But yeah, we do talk about men when they don't perform well. Yeah, they do talk
anything that
about
y'all could do to help the brothers, since we're talking about sexual reflexology and this kind of stuff, wouldn't it be better to kind of like help the man along the way to be able to give him some kind of advice, some instructions on how he can perform, you know, to his best ability, as opposed to having the conversation at the woman's meeting and we never get to find out?
Well, you know, when you do, I was married, and when I told my husband about different things that he can do to perform better, he'd be like, oh, don't tell me what to do. And I'm like, I'm helping you out to show you what to do to please me. But some men, they kind of take it negative. And then, like I say, it's your diet. It's herbs that you can take that will help you if you're having some sexual dysfunctions, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, because
give you some advice, sister, with the brother in order to get that information over to him? Tell him while
well,
you
know, it's no brother right now. I'm celibate. I'm just looking for my king right now. So I'm not even...
Yeah, you and I need to keep in mind that there are other people listening to this conversation. So,
right.
Really for you. Okay. Yes, no, maybe,
okay.
Cool, not cool. All right, well, we really appreciate your call, sister.
Thank you, Queen, for your perspective. Right. You know, I just looked something up online. It said that somewhere between 15 and 20% of women say they have never had an orgasm.
Yeah, I've met women like that.
Never had an orgasm.
Yeah. Well, we as men, we talk about that in the men's meeting.
Mm.
And the brother that y'all think can perform up to par, that dude, like I got a female friend, she always looking for the brother with the muscles.
Mm.
And she always gets shortchanged.
Wow.
Sisters, y'all need to know, the bigger the muscles. Yeah. All right, so...
Yeah, no, I think, who was it, Dr. Baruch, who said the more chicken you eat today, the more Viagra you need tomorrow.
That's right.
Check. I need to send that to that brother who wrote this message.
Lay off the chicken.
Yeah.
Call him. Oh. Call him from the 718 area code. Sit tight, John. Call from the 718. NMEMindz Radio. What's good?
Peace to the king. Peace to the queen.
Peace to the king. What's good?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment and by nature, you know, black men and women are sexually, because when we was in Africa, you know, it was all about family, man, woman, and child.
Brother, can you slow down for just 1 second? That first sentence kind of threw me for a loop. By nature, we're sexually what?
No, I said by nature, black men and women are sexual, meaning that
sexual by nature. You don't think
by nature, yeah.
Okay, but you don't think
you
that's
ain't let
something...
me finish though. You ain't let me finish though, bro.
Okay, go on.
So because when we was in Africa, we procreated on a substantial amount of level. So that's why when the Europeans came to Africa to enslave us, and they killed us by the millions when they came to get us from Africa on the boats, we died by the million, but we're still here by the million. Unlike the Native Americans who they gave smallpox and they're not here. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're here more than they are. So by nature, we were sexual. That's what we did. You know what I'm saying? In Africa. So what I'm saying to you is that that's the reason why white supremacy studied us for centuries to give us the alcohol, the drugs, the food, vaccines, etc., so that, you know, because they won't exist if we was left alone without any interference.
All right, now let me ask you the original question that I asked you, since I let you finish. By nature, we are sexual. Why would there be a need to when, if sex was given to us by the Creator to procreate, right? We weren't necessarily sexual. We was just ourselves, and we had no problem having families and procreating.
Okay, maybe I chose the wrong word, but that's basically what I was trying to say. Like,
okay, I got you.
Just said, that's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to say we were sexual, like as far as like we're being irresponsible, being sexual. I'm just saying we was family, like we created families. That's what I meant.
Right. Okay, cool. I just got to clear it up sometimes with Tay Tay and Man and Twan and Day Day because they listening. You understand?
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, we really appreciate your call, good brother.
Peace.
My man John Trey, what's good with you? Call from 704 area code. What's good, man?
Peace, ZaZa, peace, Griff.
Peace, King. John Trey, what's that?
I like this subject right here. But, because Griffy wanted to touch on things and then he pulling back. But, yo.
I have to pull back because the little man is listening. He would have sitting next to his mom. And I want to have that conversation with Dad, you, ZaZa, and some other people. Yeah, I'm trying to find those sophisticated words to say what I need to say. But anyway.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the problems with us being over-sexualized is we're not in our state of mind. Not only we're not in our state of mind, like, because of the damage that has been done, like Griff said, 400 years, but we're always intoxicated with something.
Yeah.
Like you said, like people, like you say, they dependent on the blue pill. Man, I don't need no blue pill. God naturally told me I could do that.
That's why.
So, you know, we don't need no blue pills. I mean, I done seen people offer me so. I was like, man, y'all selling that like it's the new thing. I'm like, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's that bad. Like, I mean, literally, people are selling this stuff like it's a package or something. You know, like, really? Selling blue pills on the street, man. So
wow.
I'm looking like if the women, like, because the women have control of everything when it comes to sex. The woman has full control over her body. Like you said, like if she's not conscious, it's considered rape, right? So she has control. I'm just saying, she chooses her man wisely. Like instead of choosing a man from the club, when you know you're intoxicated, and you choose a man from the club, leave with that man from the club. You can't expect love to come out of that.
Yeah.
Well,
didn't the song say, "I want to make love in this club"?
But see, you know what that was, though.
Yeah, I do. But we, the people are listening to this music while they're in the club throwing drinks back, high off blunt.
Exactly.
And Molly and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
So it resonates in the psychology, like you said, in the back of that mind, it's always going to register. This is how I'm supposed to approach this woman because you're drunk, I'm drunk, we both feeling good, and he's talking about making love in the club. And some people act on that. That's how crazy it is.
Right. But my thing is, T-Pain sat in the club and wrote a whole damn album and said he in love with a stripper.
Right.
Is that
but see, I think that was his own personal. His wife is a stripper, though. I'm sorry about that, but his wife is a stripper. Used to be a stripper.
Yeah, let's not have the conversation about hitting strippers.
No, he said his wife is a stripper?
Yeah, well.
No, his wife.
About T-Pain.
Yeah, his wife.
He married a stripper.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he married a stripper, so that's why he was basically talking about his personal love. Was he fell in love with a stripper that he married. So I mean, I understood that aspect, but I understand where you're coming from too. So, because we're not gonna resonate with, oh, he married a stripper. No, we gonna look for the stripper now. We're gonna look for that woman with the big breasts and all that.
strippers don't have big butts. I've kind of know some that, but no. Kim Kardashian wasn't a stripper, and she bagged Kanye. But I don't know who would want a woman after making some sex tapes and all that other stuff. But anyway, we really appreciate your call, Mr. John Trey, sir.
Jazon Trezay.
I appreciate what y'all do, man. I love y'all.
Love you too, good brother. Peace.
Peace.
You have any quotes, Miss ZaZa Ali? Just wait a minute. Just let me find them.
Oh, I didn't know it was 9:55.
It is 9:55. We have 5 minutes left.
Well, let's announce we're going to be in Oakland.
Okay.
Do you have the flyer?
I have the flyer in front of me, I think, yeah.
We're going to, you want to?
No.
You do Oakland, I do LA?
No, I'd rather do LA. You do Oakland.
I don't have the flyer.
Okay, I have Oakland.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to be in Oakland, Professor Griff and Miss ZaZa Ali. With the new comic book release, Who Stole the Soul, I will be teaching that particular Who Stole the Soul, and ZaZa Ali will be signing her book, Black Matters, The Scientific Intervention in Our Affairs, and she's going to be lecturing on her next book that's coming out in a minute. How long?
Couple
of weeks. Plagues of Dysfunction. We're going to be at Jeffrey's Inner Circle, 410 14th Street in Oakland, California. The O. All right, Jeffrey's Inner Circle. All right, that will be Saturday, August 15th from 1 to 6. All right. When y'all come through the door, y'all got to lay a dub on it. All right. All right, so Who Stole the Soul, Professor Griff, and Black Matters. ZaZa will be signing her book, Black Matters, Scientific Intervention in Affairs. And the anticipation of her new book, Plagues of Dysfunction. 1 to 6, Saturday, August 15th.
We will also be, we're going to be speaking at a local juvenile hall. But that's, I don't even know why I said that. We're also going to be on Tuesday at Kingston 11 doing an eat, meet, and greet kind of situation, having everybody come and just kind of eat with us and build with us and have a real intimate, personal kind of situation with the family. That's going to be on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we have some sisters out there that are setting up a fundraiser for us at a local nail shop, a beautiful nail shop actually on Lakeshore Avenue. Once I have the flyers for that and the definite information, I will post that information on Facebook as well as on the show, of course. Saturday, August 22nd, we are going to be in Los Angeles at
Carras Unity Center.
Carras Unity Center, and that's at 7825 Southwestern Avenue in Los Angeles from 4 to 8 p.m. You can call 323-759-7587 for more information, or, of course, you can always call Griff at 678-557-2919. That's Saturday, August the 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m. Friday, we're going to be at
Simply Wholesome.
Simply Wholesome.
I'm going to get my grub on.
Okay.
We're going to do an eat, meet, and greet at Simply Wholesome at 3 o'clock. So if you know where Simply Wholesome is, right there on Slauson, on the corner right there. All right, so just meet us there at 3 o'clock. Simply Wholesome. We're going to be signing some books, meeting some people, greeting some people. And that's where the guy that works there has a crush on you. So you better wear your best dress.
And Sunday, August the 23rd, we're going to be at Juicy Juice. Do you have the...
I don't think
that is
I have
my
the
bad.
Juicy Juice.
Juicy Juice is in Carson City. Shout out to Sister Lori. Definitely looking forward to meeting that sister in person for the first time, and also being able to build with the family out in Carson City. And the address is, I had it right here.
Take your time, sister.
Juicy Juice. It is 940 East Dominguez Street, Suite K, in Carson City. That's at Juicy Juice Books and More. It's formerly known as Smiley's Bookstore, 940 East Dominguez Street, Suite K. You can call Griff 678-557 for more information about that. That's Saturday, August the 23rd at 3 p.m.
All right, and this Saturday, August 1st, me and Chuck D's born day. Both of us will be 55 years old. All right, I will attempt to do on Facebook my top 55 songs. Hopefully I can do that during the course of the day, but my top 55 songs that I'm digging. I'm going to put them on Facebook.
I can pretty much guess.
But anyway, my comic book, Who Stole the Soul, will be out this Saturday.
The comic book is super, super dope.
Oh, thank you very much. I will be at Madu Bookstore at Greenbrier Mall, 1 to 4, 5, something like that, 1 to 4. All right. I'm going to join Booker T. Coleman and some other people. All right. So the comic book, Who Stole the Soul, is out this Saturday. Go to my website, www.professorgriff.me, if you want to order the book. All right? Love you all to life, brothers and sisters, and we will see y'all on Tuesday.
day.
Make sure you go to the Marcus Garvey School, MSLGA. Is that it? .org? I'm totally killing that. My bad. The Garvey in LA, it is www.mgsla.org. Make your donations. Marcus Garvey School in Los Angeles, mgsla.org. Peace, family.
Peace.